What's going on, everybody? Doc, Average Gamer Guys, back yet again. It's more Escape from Tarkov action, and today, a little bit of news and quite a bit of detail, hopefully, on the latest patch 12.11.2, if I'm not mistaken, which dropped just a day or two ago. So, we're going to jump in. I'm going to cover the patch notes really quick. I'm going to cover some other things that we've gotten some additional information on, specifically Scav, Karma, Rep, and fence increases, some good things that I think have been done to make that a little bit easier. But the majority of this video outside of that is going to be covering the new high-level tasks. I'm going to give obviously some thoughts and some comments on basically all this as we jump into it, but I'm going to jump into the tasks that we know of and the details that we have surrounding them, and just jump through those using the wiki. So hopefully this is a useful video for you. You're probably already up to date on a lot of the patch notes, but in case you're not, like I said, we'll cover that up front. So, without further ado, let's jump in. Let's talk some Tarkov. All right, so first things first here, let's really quick just cover patch 12.11.2. A whole bunch of changes, a whole bunch of bug fixes, a couple standouts for me here. And I'll talk, again, fence rep a little bit as we get through this. So, big changes here. Fence reputation increase when successfully exiting any location as a player scav. I'm going to try to get some video of this, so you might see it pop up here. But I definitely think 12.11.2 has certainly been intended to help people reach higher levels or max level rep with fence. In addition to that, they're going to talk about PMC and scav cooperation extracts are available on the locations. They've also increased the rep that you're getting from this. I think it is currently 0.7 for your first extract. A fence message popped up earlier today or yesterday, talking about basically those all being reset as well. So even if you had used these extracts, that's a great opportunity as a PMC to go in, use these extracts, and get a ton of rep. I think it scales down from that point, similar to what it had been before. I think the second time you use it, you're getting like 0.35 rep points, and then it scales from that point. But 0.7, even if you just went and used all of them once, is a huge boost to be able to get up to that 6 rep. So that's really cool. Some adjustments here. The scav, the sorting table for scav item turn-in is actually really cool. Just another, honestly, quality of life improvement that's like, just thank you BSG, thank you for thinking about that. This is the one we're going to cover in depth here, and you can see I have many a tab up to talk about new quests for high level players, and it's interesting. I've got some interesting thoughts on that, but I want to just hold on to that for now. You can change your PMC voice settings. That's pretty cool. AI fixes. This is going to be another really good quality of life improvement. They talked about this in the previous podcast after 12.11 came out, that they are going to allow players below level 20 to use the flea market in order to look for trader items. You can do your link search. That's huge. I'm super stoked about that. That's a great feature. That's really nice. You get some additional discounts for fence on max loyalty level. Honestly, a lot of this feels like them prepping to test for higher levels of fence rep in the future as well. That's just my personal thought. But I like that as well. And a little bit bonus, little bonus to grinding him a little bit, which is much less of a grind now. Excuse me. Okay, let's talk about fixes here. Raindrops, loots. This one I don't like. I hit this quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie, whenever I go to Interchange, I think this was kind of a neat place to draw folks to, outside of like just the normal locations that draw a lot of people to Interchange. So apparently this is fixed. I guess that was a bug, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. There's a couple other things. There's a whole bunch of bug fixes here that you can talk about. You know, letting you open an offer. I know there's another one in here that talks about kind of freezing. I definitely will say in the hideout specifically, crafting things has gotten a lot smoother. It's not as buggy as it was beforehand. Easier turn in for that, and just it feels a whole lot better. There's a whole bunch of stuff. This is another one. Players can no longer slide off ledges while prone. There's another one in here that talks about basically some clipping or some inability to turn while laying down on raised surfaces. This one right here, when you're prone, this was really frustrating for me, especially trying to get Shooterborn and Heaven kills on a couple of maps. You want to lay down, low profile, be able to use the arm stam, and this was really frustrating. So I haven't tested this a ton, but honestly, a good change if it's hopefully fixed. You know, abilities and other stuff that was probably being honestly cheesed a little bit for some different things. Double animation with the Mark 47 Mutant. This was, you know, another one that I had seen. I've been using that gun just a little bit, and thought that was good. So, whole bunch of other changes here. Certainly, you can jump over. I'll try to remember to put the link below for these, but I really want to cover the list of changes and talk about some big ones. But again, big thing here. Let's talk about quests for higher level players. I'm gonna jump in first to say, don't be upset about these. From everything we know right now, these are not required for Kappa. These are purely end game type tasks to give folks that do reach those higher levels something to grind for. Now, me personally, this is just my personal opinion. I like this. I do. I think it plays, and it's smarter to play towards a longer game. I think it's neat to have later game quests opened up. Now, you can make the argument that the late game quest is Kappa, but if you've ever gone for Kappa before, you know that outside of this time around and having to reach level 71, most players by about level mid 40s, low 50s would probably have Kappa. They've probably completed all the quests that were required. You know, for me, I basically completed all the quests with the exception of getting your 100 kills before I had Kappa, or like right about. I think maybe I hunted Sturman after I got Kappa, but there weren't a lot of late game quests to be done. There are some things that you certainly didn't have to do that you could wait, but most players, you're just gonna play. You're gonna work those quests because you need to be able to get them done. So I like the idea of late game quests. I would certainly be in favor of some of these quests counting some progress as you went along, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a few that I think would be really smart. They could certainly up the number if they wanted to do that, but please keep in mind that these are late game quests to try to give an extra challenge to those folks that, again, are moving towards Kappa, just trying to grind for that level. The experience rewards are going to be really, really helpful for letting players get to level 71. So I don't think it's a perfect system by any means, and I certainly don't think these quests are perfect. There are a few that I'm scratch my head at a little bit. However, I understand the intent. Now, I would like a little bit better maybe thought around trying to make them a little bit more interesting. Some of them are very cool. Some of them are just extremely grindy. And I guess that's okay when you're just like running late game and all you're really doing is farming money and probably trying to get to the PvP aspect of the game. So I don't mind the PvP quests that we get as much, but you'll see there's a couple in here that I'm just like, I really don't want to have to go and search for all of these items. So I certainly, in the comments below, want to hear what you think. I think a lot of the player base is going to say this isn't even going to apply to me, because in the course of a wipe, I only get to the 40s or so anyways, maybe low 50s. So you only have a couple of these unlocked. For those that do play this game a lot and do get to the higher levels, I think it's going to be mixed emotions. As long as they don't make these required for Kappa, and I think a couple of them they could, as long as they don't make the majority of them required for Kappa, I think we're going to be okay. Because there are some that are super, super grindy that I certainly would not want to have to try to do. With that being said, there's still a good chance on the way to level 71 I get them done. If I'm still considering if I want to go for Kappa this wipe or not. So let's jump in. We've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 12 right now. There may be 1 or 2 more, but this is what we have info on, and I can show you in game. Some of these are basically unlocked, at least for me to be able to see at this point. And I think I'm 2 levels away from opening the first one. But we have a handful for Prepor. I think we have 1 for Therapist. I think we have 1 for Skier. Maybe 1 or 2 for Peacekeeper Mechanic. Everybody actually gets some love here, which is pretty cool. So first one, this is a Prepor task called Capturing Outposts. And this is 15 PMCs on Customs, on Woods, and on Shoreline. You have to be level 45, but the key here is that you have to be at a specific location. So scav base on both customs and woods, and then on the pier on shoreline. So this is a really interesting one for me because it is, again, locked down to a specific area. Now, I will tell you, I'm generally okay with this. I think the scav base on customs is what's commonly referred to as stronghold, which is going to get enough attention. The scav base on woods is the old Emercom medical unit. So that's the little fob that a lot of people go to. So I think reasonable to get folks to go there. And then pier on shoreline gets a decent amount of traffic that I think would be fine. The question I have related to this quest is, where specifically do you have to be? I think you need to be... I'm not sure if you physically have to be in that location or the PMC that you kill does. And here's what I want to talk about is I'm having a lot of frustration right now. I think it's with a Yeager task for killing scavs outside of the barracks area on reserve. I have like 7 of 10 done. The most frustrating part for me is getting people to be there. Getting scavs, that's the crazy thing, is getting scavs to be there and to be within whatever imaginary bubble that is around or inside of the building. I know that is a small part to this, but I think there's going to be some frustration around this because especially maybe like woods I see maybe being a little bit more difficult. You might be able to run into a raid and get a kill or two. If you get a close spawn to that, you might be able to be moving through there and get somebody that's looting it. But once that place is looted, most people leave that Emercom medical unit area. So I'm okay with this one. Again, not super grindy. I think customs and shoreline I think is generally going to be fine. You've got the pier, which can draw Sanitar, which can draw some action. A lot of people run through there. There's some pretty good loot. I don't know. We'll see. Not the worst one for sure, but anywhere that it's specifically limited to an area, I think is one to just pay attention to see if that's going to cause a little bit of problem. Next one we have for Purport is called Intimidator. And again, another one to be level 45, eliminate 40 scavs with headshots. Really easy. I like this one. I think, again, this is kind of a cool one to grind, and you're just going to do it as you go. Nothing too crazy there. You don't have to be on any specific map, so I like that one. Last one for Purport is called Escort, and level 60 to do this. This is another one. This is one of those ones I certainly hope isn't required for Kappa now or anytime ever in the future, because you have to go. You can't die on any of the maps, and you have to kill 4 PMCs on every map. Yeah. I mean, it's a ton of experience. That's the crazy thing, and I haven't been covering the rewards for a lot of these. 760,000 experience is huge. You get 10 melee levels, you get 5 pistols, 5 strength. Like, at this point, if you're level 60 and you don't have max strength, this means nothing to you. So I think there should be some adjustment for the reward. I'm kind of hoping that they did this to incentivize you to not grind it, but it is what it is. So this is an interesting one. Probably one of the most challenging ones that we're going to see, if not the most challenging one that we will see. Because, again, you can't die at any point on any of these maps. So if you kill these 4 PMCs on labs, and then you go to woods, and then you go to reserve, and then you go to interchange and killer kills you, yeah, got to start over. So good luck with Escort. That's going to be an interesting one. So the only one for Therapist is called Crisis. This is one, level 55 to start. Not super big on having to grind these items. The flip side of that being is if you do end up playing late game content, you're probably going into labs or you're running some shoreline to get some of that PvP, probably coming across these things. So again, I don't hate this quest. I just don't necessarily love it. Again, I think, Vitality and Immunity, these are cool to get leveled up. Again, you're level 55 when you start, so your Vitality's probably decently high. Meds case is great. 137,000 experience. I think these should really be related to experience purely. I think that's an adjustment that hopefully we see moving forward. Especially, again, if you're at level 55 and you're doing these quests, you're doing them for the experience to try to get to 71. So the rest of this, though, 5 defibs, 5 ophthalmoscopes, 5 LEDX. That'll be the hardest part. Defibs will actually be a little difficult too. But again, if you're level 55, hopefully you've got some good money. You could be running multiple different places to do this interchange. So, and then 20 piles of meds. The cool part is you can make the defibrillators. You can really make the lead X's if you want to in your hideout. Same thing with pile of meds. So really, ophthalmoscopes are the only thing you're after. And the nice part is, knowing this now, you come across any of them up until this point, all you got to do is hang on to them. So that's pretty neat. So not a bad quest. Maybe adjust again the XP a little bit, bump that up, and I think we got a good one there. Night Sweep, Mr. Skier, 50 to start. You have to find 12 cultist knives, and then you have to turn them in. They have to all be found in raid. You get 107,000 experience, $6,000. I can't recall what the unknown reward here is. With a quest like this, I would simply just hope, and I actually don't hate this quest. I just think 12 is too many. Do 6, do 5. You're not guaranteed to find one of these. I don't believe only the leader, and sometimes maybe the minions can have them. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I think the big thing here is the fact that 12 is a lot. 12 is a lot. 5 or 6 I would still not really like, but I think would be much more reasonable just with the low spawn rate of the cultists. I can remember, I hunted them for a while last wipe. I ran into them a handful of times, not certainly 12 though. So this is a lot of night raids. This is a lot of forcing this, and unless they adjust the spawn for cultists or bring us some event, that would be the other thing. Bring us some events that could help you with this. That would be the difference maker. So again, not a terrible quest. Maybe a slight adjustment on the actual number to turn in, but pretty cool to force into the night. I know a lot of people like to run some pretty juicy night raids, and that could be pretty fun. So mutual interest, Mr. Peacekeeper. This has you eliminate 50 raiders on reserve. I will check to see the level. They don't have the level in here. 84,000 experience. You get one designated marksman rifle level and a submachine gun level, and then 3,000 euros. I actually really like this quest. This is cool for those folks that do play reserve, especially for the fact that you can hit the switch to get these guys initiated. You can go down in underneath in the D2 area, or at least where the switch is to get this. This is one that you just do as you go, and if you play a lot of reserve, you're probably going to get these kills. Come in groups of 3 and 4. You and a buddy start knocking these out. I think this is pretty neat. It's a good quest just to keep as you go through the raids and do progress. With that being said, this would be one of the few that I would say it would be nice to get some progress prior to accepting this quest, like if it could just track it. Not saying that you should immediately be able to get it done, but maybe some kind of progress that you could get. And honestly, maybe if they did that, they could bump it up a little bit, just to balance that a little. 50 raiders is a lot. That's a lot of raids, assuming that you can get them to spawn literally every time, and have the opportunity to kill them without dying in that raid. So not a terrible one. 50 is a lot, but I think very doable for Peacekeeper there. You have Calibration. I think that's the only one for Peacekeeper. Calibration is another one that I think would be really cool to track prior to getting to level 47 to start the quest. Although, again, I don't think this one is too terribly difficult because there's not a lot of constraints to being able to do this. So you've got to kill 20 PMCs from over 100 meters away. That's going to happen. That's going to happen not regularly, but regularly enough that I think doesn't make this one too bad. Again, it would be interesting to see progress to get towards this prior to opening the quest. But again, I think at that point, you're probably bumping that number up pretty significantly beyond 20. So 100 meters away, 20 PMCs, you get 93,000 experience, a perception level, which is pretty cool. 5 cans of thermite in a magazine case. Again, the pretty common thing I'm going to say is even at level 47, I'm going to say bump these experience levels up a little bit. This is a long quest. I mean, this is a lot of kills from some very specific, parameters. So I like to see this bumped up a little bit. Just really help that push towards, I think it would really help to make level 71 not feel so much like the grind that it is. Especially if you knew you could go in, have some of these quests to be able to get there. Let's talk Longline Interchange, Ragman. This is a pretty cool one. 30 PMCs inside Ultra Ball. I like this quest, actually. This is going to happen if you're running for, let's say, You're running for like GPUs. You're running to get your kills done. This is just gonna, I feel like, kind of naturally happen as you go in and fight, and is a pretty good one. I know, especially anybody going to hunt Killa is not gonna hate this quest because they're gonna get opportunities to get these kills. You get 84,000 experience. You get a big old backpack, and you get a Listi helmet, and that's not a bad one. This one does open into booze, which is another Ragman quest, probably one of the easiest in my opinion of these high level quests. You got to be 50 to start this one. You need the vodka, the whiskey, you need purified water, and you have to hand all those in 10 and 10, and then 3. You get 107,000 experience, a level of attention, which is pretty cool. 0.5 to crafting. I actually really like that. 3 paracords is also not bad to work towards textile if you want to do that. And then plexiglass, it's like, okay, I guess, but that does trade, so kind of a weird, in my opinion, kind of a weird reward, but it is what it is. The cool part about this is purified water, whiskey, and vodka. You can just craft all of these. So I think this finally gives a little bit of emphasis to the nutrition unit, which is still valuable, but I think puts some use to it later on in the wipe, or as you start getting towards this quest. And I know certainly that's what I'm going to be doing, is just trading through these to get these items and be turned in for that founder raid status. So not bad for Ragman there. Probably one of the easier ones. Swift 1, Mr. Yeager. Don't we all love Yeager quests? I know I certainly do. 50 to start, 20 PMCs, no armor, no helmets, no clothing. This is a really important one. The wiki says this. No clothing, hats, face wear, armbands for these skills to count. How do I feel about this one? Not great. Yeager always has just the worst quests ever. This is up there as one of those. 107,000 experience. This needs to be like triple that, in my opinion. Stress resistance level, that's pretty cool. Endurance, take that out. If you're level 50 and you're still getting endurance, this needs to change to a different skill. Give it to a weapon category or something else. The AP rounds for the 338 is really, really neat, and the MAI AP rounds is really neat. These are great rewards because you're not getting them anywhere else. That's also where I think maybe the quest rewards could go to, is instead of maybe some of these, cases, is shift into some of the higher tier ammos. Not a ton. 20 and 60 is, I think, reasonable. That's 2 mags. That's a 2, I guess, 10 rounders for this. That feels like a good spot. If you want to sell them, more than welcome to do that. Or obviously use them if you're up at this high level. This is an interesting one, though, because, again, you got to be in woods, so this is going to force people into woods. And then dudes with killing people without armor or helmets. It's going to be a sniper fest, I guess. Interesting challenge. That's for sure. Interesting challenge. Thanks, Yeager. Thanks a whole lot. Huntsman Path Relentless. This one I actually really like. This is a terrible task, but this is the snowball challenge in essence by itself. We did this a little bit, kind of, sorta, last wipe, but basically kill all the bosses and don't die. So I really like this. I think I actually think this is really cool. This is going to be one of those, like, you complete this and you certainly go to show this off. The difficult part I have for this one, unless we get a boss meetup at some point, is actually doing this. Not simply killing these bosses, but getting the opportunity for them to spawn. Tagilla, Killa probably relatively easily. Reshala is just kind of a crap. I mean, they're all a crapshoot. But I feel like, Sturman, Reshala, even Killa to a certain extent, relatively easy to find and take out. Tagilla, Lucker, Sanitar, good luck. I know a lot of folks did a lot of raids to try to find these guys, and that's where they ended up, was continuing to try to do this. So very, very cool. Like this quest. Super, super challenging. Probably, again, one of the hardest that we're going to have. Great rewards. 280,000 experience. You get crafting skill, immunity skill. You get a fleer. You get some fuel. 20 GP coin. I mean, the rewards are there. You could argue that you should get like another thick type weapons case or items case. I certainly wouldn't think that would be outside the realm of the possibility for doing this. Again, I hope there are some events that allow people to try to do this. Maybe even a couple of these bosses spawning more frequently to try to work towards doing this. But other than that, that's going to be one heck. You're going to have to be very, very lucky and also grind quite a bit, I think, in order to get that one. And then the last one we actually have from Fence, and this has gotten quite a bit of stir up in the community. You got to be level 68 to start this quest. It simply is to hand over your secure container Epsilon. Now, I love this quest if you knew that it was coming. Many folks have sold this at this point. If they've been up that high or they have one. I still have mine, luckily enough, but I'm just stupid and keep it, and most people don't. The cool part is you get your Fence rep. I think at this point for a lot of folks, I don't know how helpful this is. 777,000 experience is huge, though. So I really like that. 5 million rubles, a whole bunch of hideout management and crafting. At level 68, you've probably dang near got these maxed. So I don't know how helpful these two things are going to be, except maybe to get you that final marker and finish it. 5 million rubles, you probably don't need any money at this point for level 68. The experience is really big, though. I like the idea of Fence rep. I think that's pretty cool. My thought is allow me to do this a little bit sooner. Maybe 60. 62. I don't know. 68 just seems like really, 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 really far. And I don't see the big difference for, 6, 8 levels, even if you dropped it 4 or 3. I don't see the big deal for giving the rest of these things as rewards at that level marker. That's just my opinion, but other than that, I like the quest. I think that's pretty cool. Encourages you to go get this. Obviously, if you're grinding these tasks, you're probably doing it anyways, and is a really nice reward outside of just selling it. So a lot of complaints from folks this time around that got rid of it, but it is what it is. So that's what we have, and those are just generally my thoughts. A little bit longer video, but I really wanted to cover in depth and talk through the quests. Hopefully there's something that you picked up. I certainly want to hear your comments down below on what you think. If you plan to get to these and to do some of them, what are your thoughts? How would you like to see them adjusted moving forward? You got to remember that this is the first run at these, so I think BSG taking some time, seeing how many people do them, seeing how this wipe progresses and how many people actually go for these, maybe where they get bogged down. I think we'll definitely see some adjustments to rewards. I'm hoping. Again, push more towards experience. Maybe the higher level ammos at that point would be nice little just bonus rewards. And then experience. I think that's going to be the big thing, and I know I said it multiple times. So with that, quick plug, like, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. The channel has just been, it's been going the last 30 days or so. So anybody stopping in, thank you so much. I seriously appreciate it. If you watched to this point, drop a comment down below. Say hi. Love to chat with you in the comments. In addition to that, we do stream over on Twitch Fridays and Saturdays, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We've got a slew of stuff going on, doing at least 5 episodes a week of YouTube content. So make sure to stay subscribed to that and all that good stuff. But do come give us a follow over on Twitch. We'd love to chat with you live, hang out with you. We do randomly stream throughout the week as well. We've got our Discord, our Twitter. Got some other social links and some stuff down below if you're looking for some gaming gear for your PC. So just put that plug in, check the comments. And again, love to chat with you and hear your thoughts. That will wrap this one up. I'm a Doc, Average Gamer Guys. As always, thanks for watching. And we'll catch you in the next Escape from Tarkov video. Peace.